Hello, in this video I'm going to show basic operations with EasyMorph, like loading data, filtering, calculating new column, and merging another table. Everything I do here you can do yourself using sample data from our website. Let's download the sample data first. For this, I go to the Start screen and click Examples hyperlink. We will be using Inc. 5000 companies data in our sample project. So let's download it. The sample dataset contains several CSV files which we'll be using in our example. Let's go back to EasyMorph. In order to load a CSV file or Excel file into EasyMorph, you can simply drag and drop this file into the application, like this. Grab the file and drag it into EasyMorph. The data is loaded. Another way to load a file is to use Start screen and import from the limited text file operation. Let's click it and choose the same file. Now we can define additional settings like separator or encoding. We also can use the preview pane in order to see how the data will be imported into EasyMorph. For instance, we want to select only specific columns or load everything. Let's do it. Let's remove the old table. Okay, so now the data is loaded. In order to transform it, we can apply various transformations to the table. Let's assume we want to check if the table contains duplicating rows. For this, we go to the list of all transformations. We click Add Transformation to see the list. Notice that transformations are grouped into several categories. You also can use the search field in order to find necessary transformation. For our purpose, we need to use Keep Duplicates transformation. Let's drag and drop it onto our table and click Calculate. As you can see, the table has become empty. It means that it doesn't contain any duplicating rows, which is nice. Let's undo this operation. Another way to add a transformation is to use the right-click menu. For instance, we want to remove a few columns from our dataset. I'm holding Control and clicking column headers in order to select several columns. Then, from the right-click menu, I choose Remove. And now the columns are removed. Notice that EasyMorph automatically created a remove transformation. We can always go back to previous transformation step and see its output, like this. You see, when I clicked first step, the columns are here, ID and rank, but when I click the next step, the columns are gone. Let's calculate an aggregate. In this example, we have revenue of various companies in different states and cities. Let's calculate revenue of all companies by state. For this, I right-click Revenue, choose Aggregate, Sum. Notice that EasyMorph automatically creates a transformation, which is aggregate transformation in this case, and I only need to specify that we need to group numbers by state, and click calculate. In our data, states are encoded with 2-letter description. What if you want to use full state name? For this, I drag another table from our sample dataset into EasyMorph, which is called states. Let's rename it to states. This is a reference table which we can use to get full state name. Let's add new transformation, merge table, in order to bring full state name into our main dataset. Merge another table. Notice that I can insert a transformation into any point of our transformation chain. Let's insert it here. Now I need to specify external table, which is states. EasyMorph automatically links columns with the same names. If we need to add more links, we can do this. In our case, everything looks fine, so let's just calculate it. As you can see, EasyMorph created a link that shows that this transformation is using another table. Notice also that some transformations are not calculated. It happens when we calculate a transformation, we calculate only all transformations up to the current one. If you need to calculate all uncalculated transformations in the project, we can simply run entire project like this. Now we can change our aggregation to use long state name instead of short state name. Now let's create a new calculated column. In our sample dataset, we have revenue and we have number of workers. Now we want to calculate revenue per worker by state. So we need to bring sum of workers into our aggregated results, and then calculate a new column. So add new transformation. New columns are calculated using special transformation, calculate new columns. As simple as that. Here I define new column name, which will be revenue per worker. Notice that we can add as many new columns in one transformation as needed. In order to define formula which will be used to calculate this column, we can use the expression editor. In the expression editor, we take sum of revenue and divide it by number of workers. We also can use various functions if we need to. These functions can be used to work with numbers, text, datetimes, and also there are some logical and special functions. But in our case, the formula is simple, so we leave it as it is. Okay. Then click calculate. A new column is calculated. Let's format it a bit. I click header and choose different format. Let's remove intermediate columns. Again, right click and remove. Now we have revenue per worker for all states. But what if we want to calculate the metric only for specific states? Let's go back to one of the previous steps and filter and limit states only to specific states. So I right click column header states and choose filter. Now I limit our dataset only to specific states. I'm just clicking random states and click calculate. You can also double click column header to see all unique values in this column. And let's recalculate our project. Press run. Now, as you can see, states are limited only to specific states, and a new metric, revenue per worker, is calculated. In order to export this data, I can use export transformation, and let's say we export it into some text file. I enter file name and press calculate. Okay, let's like this. Here we go. We imported two files, merged them, filtered data, aggregated it, calculated a new column, and exported results into a new file. This concludes the demonstration. Thank you for your attention.